What's up, everyone? I want to show you a cool variation of the bubbleback midge. That's basically all this is. I like fishing this during heavy mayfly and midge hatches. Of course, you could just fish one of each on a tandem fly rig, but this has qualities of both, and it's kind of the solution to that issue. At least I think it is. I'm just going to start this off with a little brown uni thread. I'm going to show you a cool trick here with some 0x. This is just monofilament. You can just pick this up at your local fly shop. You don't have to use any of your expensive stuff, none of your fluorocarbon. And the trick here, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lighter, and then I'm going to take the little piece of 0x that I just cut. I'm going to hold the butt end section. I'm going to light this lighter up, and I'm just going to touch it towards the bottom of the flame. You can see it making that little tiny round head, just like that. So what we're going to do at this point, I found the easiest thing to do is just to lay that bead in your pointer finger, and I'm just going to feed the end of that through the bead, and then you can just pull it through until it's flush. You'll see how nicely that sits. I'm going to start by holding the bead about an eye length away from the actual eye. I'm going to start with some light wraps. I'm going to try to focus on keeping that mono right along the back of the shank. When I get about there, I can tug back on it just to get that bead to sit a little bit more flush with the shank. And I mainly just want to focus on keeping my thread flat. That mono is going to add the slightest bit of bulk, but you can see it's still pretty thin, and it's going to end up with a nice looking taper here. So I'll trim that excess off. Let me just make sure my thread's not winding up on me. And then we're just going to take this all the way back up to the top. You can kind of see that slender profile working its way in. Super secret fly tying material, wire. Nobody's ever used wire in a fly before. I'm the first one to do it. I'm just going to take a little piece off of there, and just going to unwind this thread. I'm just going to stick this right behind the bead here. See if I can get this locked in. Boom. Touching wraps all the way down. And I will say, a lot of flies get very redundant to tie, but this is one that I legitimately enjoy tying. And no, I am not a pyromaniac. This is just a very enjoyable fly to tie. So I'm going to take that all the way down to the bottom. And then we're going to go right back up towards the top. You can see that nice slender profile coming in. One wrap around the front, get my thread out of the way. Now you can just start segmenting this going forward. Nice even wraps. If you were tying this in black, you could use black thread and silver wire, kind of like a zebra midge. That looks a little too wide. As Bob Ross would say, we don't make mistakes, we make happy accidents. Or we just call it a variation of the original, and then we patent it and sell it at fly shops. Make a couple wraps around the bead, and then I'm just going to helicopter that off. This is brown monkey hair from Semperfli. Basically the same thing as brown fluorofiber. And then I'm going to get some of this Veevus body quill. I'm going to cut one strip of the Veevus body quill and 4 pieces of the monkey hair. I'll gather all these pieces together and I'll wrap them around the thread. We're going to tie this in front of the bead. Make that initial wrap and then just split them in half. There should be 5 pieces on each side. And just wrap around the bead and then pull it back towards the front. Just like that. Now you can just let those fibers hang out there. Now I usually don't put a dubbing head. I did at one point, but it kind of makes it a little bit too busy. So I usually finish this off without any unnecessary dubbing on the head, I just go ahead and make a couple two-turn whip finishes here. Go ahead and trim this thread off. And we'll trim the wings halfway down the shank. There it is. This thing is now ready to be embedded into a fish's mouth or into a tree. I will leave that up to you. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.